All right, so we're going to talk about booking and coaching your hostesses and pre-profiling your parties. I think this is probably one of the things that people have the most questions about when they start their business or before they start their business is how am I going to get people to have parties for me, and how am I going to meet new people and keep my business rolling? And so I can attest to the fact that you can keep your business rolling if you want to. It's totally a mindset. And so from the moment that you start holding appointments, even though your 30 Faces in 30 Days is a trial run, it's practice, it definitely still counts for something. And I think at least 5 of the women from my DIQ team, the women that helped me create our unit, were from my first 30 Faces in 30 Days from those appointments. And so it's really important that even though you are in practice mode and you're just getting your feet wet, that you take these first couple appointments that you do seriously and work full circle from each appointment so that they can count for something, and they're going to count for training, but you also want them to count, for sales and count for future bookings, which is the most important thing that you can gain from these first appointments. And so knowing how to book from your parties is really important. So first we're going to talk about how to get your first initial parties on your date book. So aside from your recruiter or myself doing your debut and booking your first parties for you at your debut, when you're following up and calling people about your debut, you can actually book people that aren't able to make it to your debut, because out of all the people that you invite to your debut, not all of them are going to be able to come. Probably about 15% of the people that you invite are actually going to be able to make it to your debut. So all those people that you invite that can't come will actually could be your very first booking. So when you're following up with people for your debut and they say they can't make it, just simply say, oh my goodness, well, I'm so sorry that you're going to miss it. You can actually still help me out. And here's how. I have been challenged by my sales director to pamper 30 women in the next 30 days for my training. And so since you're not able to make it to the debut, would there be any reason why we couldn't get together and you could be one of my 30 practice faces? And then you get her to agree to that. If she says, yeah, I can totally help you, you say, awesome. And you go ahead and give her options. When you're booking, you always give people options. Women like options, and they don't need too many options, because as women, what do we do when we have too many options? We can't make a decision. So you want to give them 2 options. So I always say, after they're like, yeah, I can help you do that, say, great. Well, what's better for you, this week or next week? And they might say, well, next week. Awesome. Do you want like a weeknight or a weekend afternoon? And you're always giving them the options that work for you. You're not just throwing out and making your availability whatever you want it to be. So you go back to your weekly plan sheet. When did you say that you were willing to hold appointments? And then give her those options. So based on your schedule and what your life looks like, and people will book at all times of the day and evening, and whether it be a weeknight or weekend, whatever your availability is, they'll pick from that. So give them what you have open. Some people can just work their business on the weekend. So they might say, do you prefer Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon? And those are the 2 options. Now, every once in a while, if you're talking to a busy gal and you're only giving her like 2 little options, maybe on the same day, she may not be able to pick. So you might have to get creative with her, but you always give them options. So this week or next week, weeknight, weekend. You can, if you're bringing them to the studio or your weekly success event, you could say, do you want to come to me or do you want me to come to you? So you can give like so many options, but one at a time, and just 2 options. So you narrow her down and you get her, to book the time or the day and the time that works for her. And then after that, you actually want to offer her the ability to have some girlfriends join in, which helps her and helps you. So you then say, hey, Susie, so I need to pamper 30 women and I'm excited about getting together with just you. So if it's just me and you, that's totally awesome. But I'm thinking if you could invite a couple of your girlfriends to join in, that would totally help me get closer to my goal of pampering 30. And it's just as easy for me to pamper, 5 girlfriends as it is, just one. I bring all the same stuff. So is there any reason why you couldn't invite a couple of your girlfriends to join in? And if you do, I can actually offer you our hostess program and you can get some free product. and then you let her agree to that or not agree to that. And so most of the time, I feel like you can turn a facial into a party for these first 30 faces, because you actually don't want to be going around doing 30 individual faces. That's not something that you want to do. And so you want to get those group appointments on your date book. Now, there are a couple people in your life, like that very small group of girlfriends or family members that you can say, hey, I just started this and you're going to have me a party. That we all have maybe a couple of those, maybe one or two, or maybe if you're lucky, you have 5 of those girlfriends that you're like, hey, you're gonna help me out. But most of the time, our friends and family and our acquaintances, we want to go for just our face first and then turn it into a party. And so you're doing group appointments. So that's what you can say for all the people not coming to your debut. Not your debut. If you have 10 or more people at your debut, we're going to book at least 5 parties for you at your debut. So you'll get your date book, pretty stocked up, stocked up from what you do for people who aren't able to come when you're following up with everybody, and then from what we can do on your debut date. So that's how you get your initial parties on your date book. The things that you want to listen to, and this is a part of your homework for this session, is 2 audios that are imperative to your booking success. And it's the Successful Conversations audio that is below this link, and the Booking Gets It, Coaching Keeps It. The Successful Conversations audio is an audio that a bunch of the sales directors in the Laughlin and Burnett areas put together. We are role playing. So we are actually having real conversations with each other, what people actually say to us. You learn how to overcome booking objections. So when someone tells you, yeah, I'd love to help you, but I'm really busy, you don't want to just say, okay, thanks, bye, which is what we typically do when we're new. We actually want to overcome that objection. And so oftentimes what I say, this is just an example of some of the things that you'll hear on the audio, is I'll say, oh my goodness, Susie, I know. That's like totally why I thought of you, is I know that you're so busy and you're one of the people that I think just deserves to be pampered. And it takes about an hour. So we can do it super fast. I would love to pamper you. And so on that Successful Conversations audio, there's a bunch of examples of what people really say when you call them and how to overcome that. So that is probably, I would say, 75% of booking is listening to that audio. The other audio is a training that I was able to do for the company at a career conference a couple years ago. I got to train all the consultants on how to book and how to coach a party. And so you have to listen to that, because it's like, not because it's me. Anyone could have said the words, but it's really good in it. And I put mega preparation into it and thought about it really, 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 really well, because I had to give it at career conference. I had to train at career conference. So it's very well thought out. And because I recorded it, I want you guys to be able to listen to that. And then I won't repeat my words on this audio. So check those 2 things out. So booking appointments, booking is the lifeline of your business. And this is on the Booking Gets It, Coaching Keeps It. And so you're going to spend a lot of time in the beginning getting things on your date book. And so what's really important is you learn to book from appointments. So every time you go to a party, you want to book at least 2 parties off of that party. And there's a lot of women in this business that is their skill set. That is what they're good at. For me, that is not what I was good at when I started going to my appointments and parties. I would get sales, I would get new team members, but I would walk away oftentimes without having anything on my date book. And so I had to really learn and study how to change that. And so at different parts in your hostess program, whatever you're weak at, whether you're weak at sales or weak at, getting people to listen to the audio or watch the video about the opportunity, or whether you're weak at booking from appointments, put some incentive behind that. And so I definitely believe that, and whether this is a strength or not, you want to put some incentive behind booking from appointments. That's really, really important, because I think it's more important than sales. It's more important than team members is if you can book another appointment off of that appointment, because once you go to a party and you have it and you drive home, that party is no longer on your date book. And so your date book is back to 0. So if you go ahead and you book, 10 parties, half of what you book is going to hold. And so you'll have 5 parties on, that are going to hold from that. But if you book 2 appointments from each of those 5 parties, that hold your back up to 10 on your date book. So you always have 10 appointments on your date book at all times, knowing that out of those 10, 5 are going to hold. And that's Gen X activity. That will make you a Gen X consultant every single month if you just have a continuous 10 things on your date book. Now, when I say 10 things on your date book, that's for the rolling calendar month. So it's not 10 things in 1 week, although that is something that some people do. They have 10 booked for 1 week and they hold 5 of them and they're doing Mary Kay full time. If you're, a part-time consultant, that 5 parties a week may kind of freak you out. And so you're looking at having 2 appointments a week. So if you want to have 2 appointments a week and go on target for your car, which is the activity it would take to do that, you need to have 4 things scheduled for the week. And so you want to get creative about where you're going to have these appointments. Use your guest event, your weekly success event as a booking night. For me, I'm busy. I've always been busy. It's never going to change. I'm always going to be busy. They always say, busy women were busy 10 years ago and they're going to be busy, 10 years from now. And so I use my weekly event as a skincare class night, and I always try to have 2 appointments booked for each Thursday night so that I at least hold one of those appointments each Thursday night. So that's 4 parties a month that I'm doing, at our weekly success event, and that helps me out a lot as far as time management goes. So use your weekly events as a booking tool for yourself. In this training packet, there's actually scripts that you can look through, and the first script that you usually use is the I'm working on a goal script, the whole I'm pampering 30 women in the next 30 days. Another script that I've used through the years, and I still use this to this day, is I'm building my portfolio, or I'm tweaking my portfolio, or I'm building my professional women's portfolio, or I'm building my stay-at-home mom portfolio. Whatever portfolio you're building, you ask for models. So, hey Sharon, this is Amber. I have a quick question to ask you. Okay, awesome. I am building my professional women's portfolio. I'm really, really excited about it. And what it is it's a portfolio of a bunch of women in the community that I really trust, and I would recommend their business out to other women. And it's makeover, so you'll get a free makeover, and we feature your before picture and your after picture, and also your business card and your information about your business. And I thought of you as our local realtor, and I would just die if I didn't have you in my portfolio. Would that be something that you're interested in? And that gives you the ability to book them for a portfolio session. And then the same thing, like I'm also looking for, a couple other realtors or a couple other people in your field, or a couple other people not in your field, whatever you're looking for. And then can you think of any of your girlfriends that would be willing to be models for me? And so you turn that model session into a group model session. So that's one that I've always used, and I really love that. I also pamper a lot of female cancer survivors. I have a survivor portfolio, and I love that. I also have a place in my portfolio for female superheroes, women that I think are just unbelievable, top-notch women that deserve to be honored and pampered. And these women are, from the reasons why I think they're superheroes are all different. They might have been in the military. They might be like this crazy workout diva, and they might be a nurse. They might be different things, but they are superheroes to me, and I love to feature those in my portfolio. So that's another script that's in here. Some of the other scripts that you're going to find, obviously booking from a skincare class is the most important script that you will need to master, and putting some incentives behind that to make that happen. The other things that are in here are, meeting people while you're out and about. You guys, you do not have to make meeting new people and networking your business a difficult thing. Just like I said, sprinkle it into your life. When you're out and about and you meet someone, or you have a conversation with someone who's pleasant or nice or cheerful or joyful, or just someone that you like, you can offer them a little gift certificate and a little goodie bag and be like, hey, so I have a couple of these left in my purse. I would love to give this to you. It's just a treat for being so nice to me today. When I had 3 little ones, like 3 little babies, I would go out and, we would do the mall thing, or we would go to the park, and I would meet people who would like compliment my children, or maybe they would see me struggling in the grocery store and come to my aid and like help one of the ones that were like running away and bring them back to me. You strike up conversations with women while you're out and about. And so when you have those conversations with people, then you can offer them the gift of what you do. And trust me, what you do is a gift. And the quicker that you get in the field and start doing appointments, the quicker that you'll realize, what you have to offer people. You're definitely asking people in the beginning to help you out, but you have a gift to offer women. Really quickly after I started pampering women, I started to realize a couple of things. Number one, women don't take enough time out for themselves. And they may, think, oh my gosh, how have I got time to, go to this little Mary Kay party? But once they get there, they let their hair down. They enjoy the evening or afternoon with their girlfriends. They're laughing. Some women actually cry at the end of their makeover. I've had several women tell me it's the first time that they've ever felt beautiful. And I was kind of like, that's crazy to me. But that's the reality of some women's lives. And so what you have to offer women is a gift. And so when you start thinking of yourself as a gift giver, and once you start have women thank you and hug you after appointments, you will realize that it's not about what you're asking people to do for you. It's about what you can give them. And so when you are networking and looking for women to book and hold appointments with, think of yourself as a gift giver and think of who you can gift with the service of a pampering treatment. And so that's another way to kind of look at, what you have to offer. Once you have things on your date book, what is really important, because you've heard me say earlier, like half of what you book will hold. And so you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that an appointment stays on the date book once you have it on the date book. Now, things are going to cancel. Your own sister might cancel her party on you. The people you think are going to hold the party, sometimes they don't. And the people that you least expect to honor that date and to hold that party with you, they totally show up and get a bunch of people there for you. So you never know what's going to happen. But I will say this, that you do have a little bit of control over whether a party holds or not. So once the party is on the date book, what is called communication with the hostess before the party is called coaching. You're going to coach the hostess to have a successful party. So a hostess will book a party from a party to help her girlfriend out, typically. Now, she may book the party because she likes you and you were fun and she had a good time at the party, but she's typically going to book it to help her, the hostess, get some extra free goodies for a couple people booking a party off of her party. That's typically why she'll do it. She might also book the party because she just simply wants to earn some free stuff for herself. She might book the party because she's social and she likes to have things like this. But whatever reason that she books it, she's going to actually hold the appointment and invite her girlfriends because what's in it for her. So it's really important that she knows what she's getting for free. And if she's going to go to the trouble to at least clean up her dining room and make some snacks for her girlfriends, she wants to have a couple things in it for her. And so there's going to be incentives for her, and that's usually the hostess promotion. I love the hostess promotion that the company recommends, which is $75 worth of Mary Kay for only $35. And she can get that if she just has 2 girlfriends join her. So a total of 3 people at the party, her plus 2, she can actually earn $75 worth of Mary Kay for $35. That is a deal. Now, what I'll do is I will often increase that and let her get $100 in free product for only $35 when she has at least 5 ladies join her. So it's still very, very hardly any cost to you at all, but you're in front of now 6 women, and there's a magical thing that happens when there's 6 women around the kitchen table or the dining room table. You're going to sell product and you're going to book parties and you're going to get a team member. You chance things a little bit when you're in front of only, let's say, 3 people. They might be, those 2 girlfriends might be her 2 girlfriends that, really don't have any money, or they're so busy that they can't book a party, whatever it is, that you just chance a little bit more with your business. And so I don't want you to be chancing. I want you to be working the numbers, because the numbers work. And so you have to give yourself the correct numbers in order to work the numbers and see the results that you should see. So always strive for at least 5 guests at the party and offer her some incentive to get there. There's lots of ideas to coach a party. So after you book the party, the first thing you want to do is you want to get the guest list. And I always try to get the guest list from her right then when I book her, or the next day. And so I'll offer a free eyeshadow or a free lip gloss if I get her guest list within 24 hours. And that's just the names and the phone numbers of the ladies that she's going to be inviting to the appointment. And then what you do with those is that's called pre-profiling. And so I'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing that you do with her is get the guest list and offer her some extra something free to get that guest list. And then I always write like a handwritten postcard or note and drop that in the mail or send her like a red stamp. There's different apps that you can download where you can send nice little cards and thank yous. And so I just send her something that says, thank you so much for having this appointment with me. I'm so excited to pamper you and your guests. This means the world to me. I'm so glad that I knew I could count on you, and you're helping me reach a big goal and helping me reach my dreams or accomplish my dreams this year. And so letting them know that they're helping you, reminding them that, and then also just thanking them. And then I make sure that I know what she wants for free. So if I booked her from a party, I actually will know what she wants for free, because it's usually something that she didn't take home that night. Sometimes they'll take home the whole roll-up bag, but there's always still something else that they love to get. And so when I book her from an appointment, I let her know that. Or I ask her that. I ask her, what would you like to earn for free? And I mark that down so that I know, so that I can remind her of that. And I even put the picture of that product on one of the little notes or texts that I send her, like, I can't wait for you to earn your microdermabrasion set for free. You're going to love it. So that's one thing. If I didn't book her from a party, I'll send her a link to the lookbook, and I'll ask her, go ahead and start your shopping so I know, some of the things that you're going to want for free, and I'll make sure that I bring them because I know you're going to earn them. And then you find out from her, what she's going to want for free. And then the other thing that you can do is just kind of coach her in some of the areas that we know make a successful party. So if she has kids or if her girlfriends have kids, you may want to recommend that it's a, mommy's pampering day and, no children. And there's different ways to say that. But some of the things that have worked for me in the past is, so typically at my Mary Kay appointments, at my makeover session, it's adults only. Do you foresee like any issues with that? Like, do you think people are going to need to bring kiddos, or do you think that they could enjoy some pampering time as just adults? And usually they'll say, oh, I'm sure they could work it out, or they'll figure it out. But if you don't say that, if you don't recommend that, you could have 10 kids running around the kitchen table. And I'll just tell you that you're probably not going to have the best little Mary Kay party if you have 10 kids running around. So you want to just kind of mention that. And then I also let her know to keep the snacks light. You do not need to put on a big buffet. You do not need to have a bunch of stuff laid out for them. It actually might even distract them from what we're doing. And so you can make some brownies or have some cookies and chips, and we'll just lay that out after we do the facials. So we'll do the facials first, play a game or two. I'll close up, and then when people are looking and shopping, then they can have those snacks. So those are a couple of just little things that I recommend that usually help have a more successful party. And I usually, am coaching her along the way beforehand to let her know those things. Okay. Yeah. And there's like lots of other things that you can do. Keep in communication with her, send her little love notes along the way. The pre-profiling part of this is you actually want to get in communication with the people that she has invited. And on the audio, the Booking Gets It, Coaching Keeps It, it goes through this pretty much in detail. So I'm not going to go through it all, but there are different ways to get in contact with all the women, but it is imperative that you do not leave this step out, because it is the insurance to your business. It is the insurance to that party holding. And you also will be able to book and sell things with people who aren't even able to come to the party if you pre-profile the party. And so there's texting scripts that you can do. And what I've been doing recently is I have the hostess just throw me on a group text with all the women that she wants to invite. And I tell her to get her list up to at least 12 women that she really likes in her circle, because only 6 of them are actually going to be able to show up. And so she throws that group text together. I text her what to put in the text, and it basically says, I'm really excited about having a girls pampering session Friday night. Amber Nichols is going to be our Mary Kay girl. She has a couple questions to ask you to make sure that she brings everything that you would need for your skin in case you're able to make it. And then I just have them all, I in that text say, if everybody could just respond with their name, I'll match your name up to your phone number, and I'll text you individually the questions that I have about your skin. So they're not responding in the group text, personal things about their skin. They're doing that individual with me. And that's just a great way that I can have communication with all these women before the appointment. So, and based on some of the things that they tell me, because I'm just asking them the left-hand side of the profile card, like, what are you currently using? Have you ever tried Mary Kay before? What would you love to change about your skin? And then after I know that, I can send them some things that we're going to be trying that night that's going to help with that issue that they want to change about their skin. Or if they say something about like, oh, I want to learn about false lashes, or I want to learn about bronzer, I'll actually let her know, like, this first appointment is actually, to really get a good game plan for your skin and pamper your skin and get a perfect foundation match. And then the bronzer is something that we're going to do possibly at her second pampering session or her glamour consult if she chooses to have that with me. So I let her know that color is going to be happening, not necessarily in full swing that night, but it'll be, her second appointment. And so I even start talking about that second appointment even before I met her. So those are just a couple tips on booking and pre-profiling, and there's way more on the audios, so that you're going to get, a lot of information. The last thing that I'll say really quickly about customer service is after you've gained these customers and you go home and you enter them into your database, you want to make sure that you're sending them and setting them up to be part of your preferred customer program. And what that is every quarter, Mary Kay will actually send out a lookbook to your customers based on who you choose to sign up that quarter for a very minimal cost in comparison to what you would have to send them for yourself. And what that does is it gets the lookbook in their hands every quarter, and it allows them to shop with you at a more convenient, it's just another layer of marketing, and it allows them to shop with you and to see what's new, and it actually kind of seals the deal that they're your customer. Oftentimes, when I'm, asking people if they've ever tried Mary Kay before, they're like, oh yeah, I tried it a couple years ago, or I tried it a year ago, and I'm like, oh, well, who's your consultant? And they're like, oh, I don't know. They don't remember, and the reason that they don't remember is because that consultant hasn't chose to stay in front of them on a regular basis, typically. Now, sometimes you'll get people that say, oh, I don't remember her, and the consultant had called her, last week or something. But the more avenues of marketing that you can stay in front of your customers, the higher rate of your reorder business will be. So I always tell my girls, actually don't consider them your customer if you're not willing to send them the lookbook, because that's like your number one marketing tool that you have access to. And so if you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to send the book out to them, I really wouldn't consider them your customer. You can send them the online link to the lookbook. You can send them emails. You can make a Facebook page and put your little, Mary Kay things on there. But, there is something about getting that actual book in the mail and then following up with them once every 3 months, once that lookbook is mailed, and seeing how their skin's doing and asking if they need anything. You're going to get, your reorder business will skyrocket if that's how you choose to take care of your customers. And there's always a free gift that you can offer them if they spend more than $40. So a lot of women will up their order to at least $40 to get the free gift. And that also just kind of helps you increase your sales. So I hope this helps, and booking will be an ongoing thing that you will master, and you're going to get better at it and better at it and better at it over time. And you're going to hear lots of ideas and lots of new ways to book. And so you're just going to become a master at this as long as you jump in and, get it done. Oh, one other thing. This is important. This is also a link under there. And this is part of your homework. Don't be mad at me. But this is a bubble sheet. And basically what you do is each bubble represents a contact that you make, a phone call that you make, or a text or a Facebook message. And if you choose to text, which I recommend at least 3/4 of these bubbles being actual phone calls, and the rest could be text. But in order for a text to count, they actually do have to respond to you. A phone call, you could just call and leave a message, and that counts. But each bubble represents a phone call. And a contact, you just put a slash through it. So if you made the contact but you didn't actually get a date, or they need to call you back or something, that's like a slash through it. And if the contact was made and they said, oh no, I can't really help you out, you put an X through it. So they're like a no. But it's better to just know what they are than to wonder what they are. So just call them. And then the last one is you fill it in. And I always fill mine in with a highlighter so I can still see the name. But I fill the whole circle in if it's a booking. And what happens is if you complete one sheet each week, you'll be a team leader within 6 months. And honestly, I think maybe even sooner than that. If you complete 2 sheets each week, you'll be a team leader in 3 months and a free car in 6 months. So that's kind of exciting. And if you do 3 sheets each week, you'll be a team leader in 2 months, a free car in 4 months, and a director in 6 months. So if your goal is to move up, then this is definitely something that you want to do. And if you complete a whole sheet, I think there's 52 little bubbles on here. If you complete a whole sheet, it should equal 10 things on your date book. So that is part of your homework, is to listen to the 2 audios and then fill out your first bubble sheet. So you're making contacts with your girlfriends, asking them to be part of your 30 Faces in 30 days. And you can also be, following up with people about your business debut as well. But fill in these bubbles, and you just text me a picture of this when it's all done, and that will be part of your homework for booking and coaching.